We are going to look at how to work out the perimeter of rectangles. It is something you would have done before, but we just want to recap on the normal rectangles and give you guys a bit of practice on that, and then we're going to move it forward and start working on compound shapes where we've got a couple of rectangles together and working out the perimeter there. So the first thing to remember with perimeter is that it's a bit like a fence. So if we're looking at a field, the perimeter is around the outside, and we're asking you how long that fence is. So if we're to walk around the edge of the shape, how far would you be walking? So for this rectangle here, I've got 9 centimeters by 3 centimeters, which means I'm going to be walking along the 9 centimeters. Then I'm going to walk along the 3 centimeters, and I haven't finished going around the whole rectangle because there's 4 sides, so I need to keep going. I'm then going to walk along here, which is exactly the same length as the opposite side, so I'm going to add another 9, and then I'm going to walk back up here, and that's going to be another 3. So altogether I have my 9 plus 3 plus 9 plus 3, which is 24 centimeters, and that is my perimeter of my rectangle. So working out perimeter, I walk around the outside of the shape and add up every single side length that I have. Now this can get a little bit more complex when you have a shape like this. Now they're called compound rectangles because it's a shape made up of quite a few rectangles. Now the first thing to notice is that there are some missing sides, so we need to get all of those lengths in. So this shape has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides, so we need to make sure we've got all of those measurements. Now the easiest one to fill in is probably the fact we've got 10 over here, and then the opposite side is exactly the same, so I can put in that 10 centimeters. The next easiest one is probably this 3 centimeters here will be the same as this one, 3 centimeters. And then we've got this missing side here that we don't know what it is. Now the way to work that out is notice that the whole length across the top is 9. Now along the bottom we've travelled 4 already, and we've travelled 2 already. Now that 4 and 2 is going to give me 6 centimeters. So that tells me if I travel 4 and then 2, the little bit in the middle that I haven't got a number for must be the difference between my 6 centimeters and the opposite 9 centimeters, which means I do my 9 take away 6, and then that must be 3 centimeters here too. Once I have that, I have all the measurements I need to add up my shape. So I'm just going to change colour to make sure I get all of them. Maybe in a red actually. So we're going to do our 9 centimeters, add on our 10 centimeters, and I'm going to tick them off as I go because there's so many I might get a little bit lost. I'm going to add the 2 centimeters. I'm going to add another 3 centimeters and the other 3 centimeters, tick them as I go, another 3 centimeters and a 4 centimeter, and finally a 10 centimeter. That's quite a lot to add up. So I'm going to do it in parts. So I've got 19, and then I'm going to add these 2 together, which gets 5. I'm going to add these 2 together, which is 6, and then I'm going to add those 2 together, which is 14. And again, as I work through this, I'm just going to add up the parts. So 19 plus 5 is 24. I'm going to add 6 and 14, which is going to get me 20. And now it's a much simpler sum to do. So 24 plus 20 is 44. And don't forget centimetres, because we're working with centimetres for this one. So it's quite a complex question because there's so many parts. We have to make sure we've got all the missing sides, and then we have to make sure we add up all the bits without adding too many things together. We're going to have a look at another one together before you go and have a go yourself. So for this one, same idea. The first step is always to fill in any missing sides that we have. So we've got 12 across the top, we've got 3 down the side. Now you'll notice this 3 here is going to be the same as this one over here, so that's an easy one to fill in. 3 centimeters. So we're looking for anything that's obvious first. Now this is 2 centimeters here. That's not going to help us anything just yet. We've got this one here is missing, but actually it's the same as this opposite side, so this must be 4 centimeters. Now there's only one more that's missing. I'm just going to change the colour of my pen. This length across the top is 12. If I look down the bottom, I've travelled 9 across here, and then I travel another 2. So whatever this is the difference between the 12 and the other 2 sides. So we've got the 9 that I've travelled, so I'm going to take that 9. I then also travelled 2, So I'm going to add on that 2. That gives me 11. Just drawing that a bit silly. Let's get rid of that. That's 11. So that gives me 11. I then need to travel this extra little bit. Now the whole way across the top was 12. So if I take off the 11 that I know, then I've got 1 centimetre left. So this missing part here must be 1 centimetre. I'm going to change my pen colour again and get ready to add up the rest of them. So this time I'm walking around the edge of my shape. I'm going to tick off as I go. So I've got 12 at the top, tick that off. I'm going to add on 3 and tick that off. I'm going to add on 2, get rid of that, add on 4, then get rid of that, add on 1, get rid of that, add on another 4, get rid of that, add on 9, get rid of that, add on 3, tick that, and then because I've ticked them, I know I've gone the whole way around the shape. So I'm going to start adding them together. I've got my 12 and my 3 to add together, which is 15. I'm going to add my 2 and 4 together, which is 6. I'm going to add my 1 and 4 together, which is 5. And then my 9 and my 3, which is 12. And again, start adding in pairs, then there's less chance of making a mistake. So 15 add 6 is 21. Then I add my 5 and 12, which makes 17. And then I've got 21 to add 17, which altogether makes 38. And again, this question is in centimetres. And that is how we work out the perimeter of a shape that isn't as simple as a rectangle. And I hope that you now have all you need to start having a go at the questions yourself.